Hello and welcome. Everybody that's out there, let me know, say hello, let me know who's out there, where you are. I've got the chat open on another box so I can see. Say hello, let me know. Welcome to today's session. Let me take a breath. Today is all I can see. We've got some people there. Hello, Jess. Looking forward to this one. Me too. This is the big one, so I'm really looking forward to it too. So today it's the final of the four, unlocking your courageous mindset. Today I am going to share with you my signature session. This is what I am all about. Courageous mindset is what I talk about. This is the foundation of my work. More importantly, what you'll discover today, what I'm going to share with you today is, I believe, a big statement I'm about to make, the foundation of our lives, our businesses, our paths to success. It starts with you, it starts with us, it starts with our mindset. So let's see who we've got. Michaela, Natalie, Joyce, hello everyone. Please do use the chat box if you have light bulbs while I'm sharing things with you. If you think of something, just share it in the chat box. I will try and keep on top of what's coming through. I've got multiple screens on the go. So this is the foundation of all of the work that I do. Some might say it's a little risky sharing this, because I'm literally going to share with you as I say in my podcast, the secret, not so secrets, route to success, mastering your mindset. Okay. This is what I do for a living. This is how I support women, just like every single one of you. This is how I support my clients. This is how I support the members of the She is Courageous Collective. I know a few of you are here. This is my mission, okay? To support women to get out of their heads, out of their own way, and into action. And that is all through unlocking a courageous mindset. So if you haven't already, if you haven't said hello, do say so. Tell me where you are in the world. And if you haven't, then get your notebooks, okay? Because I want you to work this through as we go. Get your notebook, get your pen, and scribble. And as I said, share in the chat box anything that comes up for you. So I want to ask you a question first and foremost, and that is very simply, why are you here today? Now, you don't have to share that with me. I know why I'm here, but I want you to think about, why are you here? Why have you taken an hour out of your day? Why have you taken the time to be here? Why have you chosen to show up? I want you to get one thing. I want you to end this session with one thing that makes a difference to you. I want that for every single person that watches this session. I can certainly hope that you are here because fundamentally you have a question around the things that you want to achieve. How do you get there? Today is not about doing more. It's not even about knowing more. Today is about, and this sounds far more woo than I tend to be, it is genuinely about being, okay? I want you to think about who you are. If you take this today, what I share with you, if you take the foundational stuff that I'm going to share with you, if you take the courageous mindset formula, which I'm going to take you through, which some of you have heard me use before, if you take this today and you live it, and you breathe it, and you do it, you will be successful. If you take this and take every part of what I share and truly use this, if you unlock your courageous mindset, I honestly believe that you will be successful. In fact, I know that you will be successful. And here's how I know. Because when I do this, when I wholeheartedly live with a courageous mindset, and I would be lying if I say I do this all day, every single day. Okay, but when I do live with a courageous mindset, I get the results I dream of. When my clients truly embrace the courageous mindset, they get the results that they dream of. When, and there's some of them here say, when the members of the community, when the members of the She is Courageous Collective embrace a courageous mindset, tell me, ladies, don't you get the results that you dream of? But I'm also a realist. I know that this stuff is simple. What I'm going to share with you today is not rocket science. I'm going to put it simply because that's how I work. But I also know it's not easy. So I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to implore with you right now. Give yourself the next 45 to 60 minutes. It will be no longer than 60 minutes, more like 45. Give yourself this time. Switch off, if you can, the stuff in the background. Get your book out and scribble what comes for you. Absorb like a sponge. Allow yourself to believe that you can do this. Because if you do, if you unlock your courageous mindset, I swear to you, the world is your oyster. So, have you ever heard this phrase? What got you here won't get you there. Now, I've been talking a lot recently about a book I read called The Gap and the Gain. And the whole principle of the gap and the gain is measure backwards. So I was in a little bit of conflict when I was thinking about this phrase, this quote, what got you here won't get you there. Because this is not about disregarding what you have achieved. In fact, quite the opposite. I want you to own everything that you have done, everything that you've experienced, everything that has got you to this moment. I want you to own it. I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to reflect on it. I get my clients to reflect on the past all of the time. Wherever you are at right now, be so proud that you are here in this moment. Be so proud of the place that you have got to. But here's the thing. If you have goals, which I'm guessing you do, then there are things that you haven't yet achieved, that you aren't yet doing, that maybe you aren't yet being, which means there are things that you have not done or you need to do differently. What got you here will not get you there. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit more as we move through. So I want you to remember that when I use that word do, I've already said this is not about doing more, okay? But what I do want you to know is that you are going to need to do things differently. But you cannot act differently. You cannot do differently if you don't believe differently. And that, unsurprisingly, is what today is about. So my ask of you is this: be present, be willing for yourself, and be open to possibility. Now, maybe you already know who I am, maybe you know my story, but let's just give a little bit of introduction as well. So this is me, I'm Shelley. I am on an absolute mission to empower and support as many women as humanly possible to get out of their heads, out of their own way and into courageous action, to really unlock that courageous mindset. There's a bunch of pictures on there. So for those of you that don't know, I spent 25 years in the corporate space. I worked for a number of high street retailers and food and beverage businesses that everybody has heard of. You can see the symbols there. And I loved my life. I am the coach and founder of Shelley Bosworth Coaching. I am the founder of the She Is Courageous Collective. I am a wife, a sister, a friend. I live in Dubai. I've run sold out retreats. I have a podcast. I am, as we stand here, right here on this moment, a sold out one-to-one coach. My life today used to be my dream. But that hasn't come easily. The person that I am now, I wasn't always this person. Of course, there's parts of me that have been here since the very beginning. But so much of me is unrecognizable from the person I was 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago. Now, some of that's a good thing, some of that's not so good. I could give you so many pictures of the journey. I am living a life I once dreamed of, and I am not done. I have still got goals that I want to achieve. But every part of every element of my life that we've created has required me to be courageous. Leaving a 25-year corporate career, leaving the UK to live in another country, setting up a business, getting out there in the big wide world, going into the networking rooms, getting my face on, all the things that we all know we have to do, they've all required me to be courageous. None of them have been easy, and I know that what every one of us do is not easy. Life, business, it can be difficult, but we can navigate absolutely all of it. So, Before we get into unlocking a courageous mindset, I have a question. Could I have a volunteer? Now, before you panic, I'm not asking for a volunteer, but I am asking, have you ever been in an audience and heard those words? The person at the front on the stage has said, could I have a volunteer, please? And what do? Do you raise your hand? Let me know in the chat. Are you someone that raises your hand like, yeah, I'll volunteer, I'm in? Or do you put your eyes to the floor in the desperate hope that no one will notice? Like, don't look, don't look, don't look. If I don't look them in the eye, they won't pick me. What are the thoughts? Like when you first saw that slide, could I have a volunteer? What was the first thing you thought? Did you think, God, no, I could never volunteer. I can never put my hand up. What if she asked me to do something I can't do? What if I make a fool of myself? Have you had that experience? So some of those I would. Jess is saying, depending on the situation, I might or I might not. And the real piece is, what's the first thing you think? Because, and it's difficult to do this in a virtual situation, okay? But everything starts with our thoughts. 99% of people will not volunteer. They will not put their hand up because it might not be the right day, either panic or excited, exactly, okay? So 99% of people will not put their hand up and volunteer. 99% of people, the first thought will be, I can't do that, I can't volunteer, what's she about to do? And what do? We fill the gaps. But what if we miss out on a great opportunity? What if I had asked you for a volunteer? What if I actually said the first person to volunteer, like without telling you, obviously, but if you'd volunteered and I then offered you a free coaching session or gave you money? I've done that before in real life, given the person money. Everything starts with our thoughts. And it's our thoughts that determine our actions. And thinking about how you would respond or what you would think the minute someone asks for a volunteer is a really great way to just kind of consider how your mindset is already set to control everything that's going to happen. If you volunteer, you're stepping up courageously and you're not sure what will happen. If you don't volunteer, what might you miss out on? Everything starts with our thoughts. So here's what I'm going to cover for you today. I'm going to cover, as always, the science and the reality of mindset. I'm not going to do huge amounts about the science of mindset because I want to take you through and I want to get you to the good stuff, the courageous mindset. But I am going to talk about how patterns and beliefs are running your life because it doesn't matter how many times I say it, it is so important to keep this information fresh in our minds. I'm going to talk to you about why courage, not confidence, is the key to success. And I'm going to share with you my courageous mindset formula. I want you to have the success you dream of, whatever that means for you. And that is where we need to start. So I want you to think about success. I want you to think about what success means to you. Because I wonder if we've got it all wrong. What is success to you? Make a note. Tell me in the chat box. Do you even know? Like, as you sit here right now, I'm here telling you, you need a courageous mindset to achieve the success you want. Well, what is success to you? Do you even know what success looks like? Here's the challenge with success and why I think we've got it all wrong. And I'm about to make some really sweeping statements. What we've been taught isn't helping most of us. What we measure ourselves against because of what we've been taught is very often not actually helping us understand, know what we want and achieve. So if I asked you right now, do you know what success means to you? How do you measure your success right now? Do you measure it by the money in the bank because you're running a business? Do you measure it by the number of clients because you're a coach? Is that success? Is that the success you really dream of? How are you measuring your success right now? Are you measuring your success based on what you actually want your successful life or business to look like? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want your life to look like, your business to look like, your career to feel like, to be like? Do you know? Are you even working towards what you want? We need to really think about what we've learned about success, what we've learned about what success is and what success isn't. We are all measuring success on different things, and that's okay. We absolutely should be. Except that many of us are measuring on very similar things because of what we've learned success is. I can see there's some comments in the chat. I'm going to have a look in just 2 seconds. We're all measuring success based on what we've been taught to measure success on until we don't. And so my question is, what is success to you? Are you measuring based on what you actually want? Or are you measuring based on what you've learned, what you see, what you think it should be? So we've got a couple of people living a balanced, courageous life where I feel fulfilled. Love that. A good picture of my success is a mix of who I want to become, the lifestyle I want to have. Brilliant. So I started my adult life with an absolute determination that I was going to be successful. I'm using my inverted commas bunny ears. And here was my list. I wanted a house, a car, I wanted handbags and shoes, and I wanted nice holidays. I wanted a certain kind of house and I wanted a certain kind of car. Now let me tell you a bit of backstory. I hated the feeling I had experienced so often in my life when I was with people who had nice things that my family could not afford and I wanted. I hated the feeling when at school my friends would go off on holidays abroad and we went, and I was not ungrateful for what we did, but I wanted to go on that. I wanted to go on those holidays. And I hated saying we're just going to, our caravan holiday. Things I thought would make me a happier, better person were material things, because I had spent much of my time watching people with material things I didn't have, and I didn't like that feeling. I was convinced by, quite frankly, a false promise that success is somehow linked to what we own. That is what I learned. I'm not blaming anyone for it. I'm just saying that's what I learned. But we do live in a society with a really huge focus on materialism and attachment until we do this work, like some of you I know have. Now, there's no judgment here on material things. I love material things still, okay? That's okay. And let's be honest, we get a temporary high when we achieve those things, right? So the house, the car, the holidays, the freedom we get this temporary high. I remember so clearly the feeling when I got my first designer handbag. I mean, I thought I was the dog's nuts. But that temporary high, the clue is in the word temporary, the high wears off. And then we start scrambling around for the next thing. And we do this in business. Like, we set ourselves a number of followers we want on Instagram, and then we're like, yeah, hit the number, and we go adrenaline rush, and then we're like, okay, now what? And we scramble around for the next thing that will make us feel successful. Because so many of us have learned that success is about importance, wealth. But what we're really doing is also equating it to happiness and worthiness. And that's fine if we are clear what success means, because my question is, have we got it all wrong, or are we really clear? There's this delusion that we cannot be happy if we are not successful, but it could be because we've got the meaning of the word success all wrong. In society, the meaning of success is so distorted. The mainstream story is that success, that's a tough word to keep saying, success is something to be attained, right? It's something that we a place to arrive at, something to achieve over there. Our whole life is determined by the meaning we give to things and words. The stories we build in our minds about pretty much everything in life. The stories that we have about what success is or isn't, what we are or aren't, determined by the meaning that we give to things and words. I have worked with hundreds of women around the world, and I know that those stories in the main are not conducive to feeling happy or fulfilled. When people come to me and say, and I say, what do we want to achieve? What are the goals? And they set out these goals. I want this many followers and I want this much money. But actually, that's not what they really want to make them happy or fulfilled. Because it wasn't the car and it wasn't the house or the handbags that truly made me happy. I mean, they didn't make me unhappy. They were a tiny factor, maybe. So many women, particularly, are stuck, lost, sad even, because they are chasing something that feels unattainable and actually isn't even really what they want. But it is what they've told themselves they should want, because that is success. So we need to change that story, ladies. That's what we want to do. We can be happy while we're working for that success. We absolutely can. Great quote coming in. Success is in the journey, not the destination. Success can be in what we learn about ourselves. We need to change the story when it comes to success. What if the new story is not about becoming anything or anyone differently, but unbecoming everything that we have thought we need to be? What if it's about unbecoming everything that we have become, so that we can remember who we really are and who we really want to be? So we do need to change our conversations around success, and I wanted to start there today. We need to change the story of what success means to us and be courageous enough to own it. This isn't just about me saying, right, here's my formula, you just got to do this work on your mindset. We need to be really clear about what success means for us and own that. We see proof daily, don't we, of external success that does not automatically make for happiness. Is there a day that goes by where there's not another media headline, some seemingly successful celebrity with, let's say, some problems? So I want you to start. I just want you to write down in your book for you, what is success to you right now? And it can change, seriously. If you'd met me 10 years ago, like, these were dreams I had, but this wasn't what I was pinning on being my success. And I would say I've got a pretty successful life. What do you really want for you in your life? Because a courageous mindset will get you there. And that's the point of all today. But I can tell you what the courageous mindset is all about. I can tell you all the work you need to do on you. But for what? If you don't know where you're trying to get to. Now, I also want to just ask you to consider, because this is a really important part of mindset, what is the opposite of success in your mind? I'd love you to tell me in the chat box, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say to you, what is the opposite of success in your mind? What do you tell yourself it is if you don't succeed? What are you telling yourself is the opposite of success? I'm always very conscious there's a small time lag and I have to wait for people to type. And everybody's failure. There we go. Straight in, failure. Now, your brain logs failure as something to not do again. So anything that doesn't match what you are defining as success, okay, is probably logged away as some form of failure, and therefore as something not to do again. Because remember, your brain is always wanting to keep you safe, and failure doesn't feel great, right? We're always trying to avoid that. In fact, the very point is, we think the opposite of success is failure, which goes against, as Jess, I think, was the one that said about success can be in the journey. Your brain logs failure as something not to do again. So anything that your brain cannot match to success is basically veering towards failure and therefore something to not do again. Now, we need to rewire that thinking, because we can't be that black and white. There's a whole piece in between the two. In order to get to where you want to go, we need to focus. We need to get really clear on where you want to go, and we need to let go of the past. We can use the past when we need to, but we do need to let go of it. We actually need to let go of much of what you think you know to be true. So I ask you again, before I move on, what is success to you? That's where I want you to start right now. Oh, regret came in as well there. Oh, interesting. A belief. A belief is a thought you think over and over again. I want you to understand and remember this. Earlier on, I said you cannot act differently, do differently, if you don't believe differently. Now, if you don't do differently, you won't get differently. Whatever it is you're striving to achieve, that success that you currently don't have is going to require an element of doing something differently. You can't do different. If you don't do differently, you won't get differently, but you cannot do differently if you don't believe differently. Now, I've talked about your brain a few times. I'm not doing masses of science of mindset today, but your brain, simplistically, your brain is a storage vault of every experience you've had, every example you've seen, every moment, every feeling, every second. It's storing away right now. Your brain's job is to keep you alive, to keep you safe. Now, here's the thing that I need you to understand, and maybe you already know this because maybe you've heard me say it. Your brain uses the past as an indicator of what will happen in the future. Your brain is processing in every single moment. What do we think? What do we do? What do we think? What do we do? That is what is happening. It's doing it right now. What do we think about what she's saying? What do we do with what she's saying? What do we think? What do we do? Okay? A belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. So we have to get really clear. What have you learned to think? That's why I've been banging on about what do you think about success? What is success to you? What have you learned to think about success? What have you learned to think about you? What have you learned to think about the world around you and how this all works? Because if we use the past to predict the future will look exactly the same as the present. Think about it. If we use the past to predict the future, which is what we're probably doing most of the time until we realize and we are able to stop it, which is what today is all about. If we use the past to predict the future will look exactly the same as the present because nothing changes. So I want to help you unthink what is not serving you. I want to help you unthink the safety thoughts that your brain is holding on to. I want to help you unthink those thoughts about regret and failure. I want to help you unthink the I've tried and it didn't work. It works for other people, not for me. I need to wait for things to be perfect. It's not the right time. I keep telling me in the chat box, you tell me, what are the things you think that get in the way of you achieving your goals? I'm not good enough. I want to help you unthink all the thoughts that are keeping you safe and holding you back from courage. All the thoughts that stop you doing all the things you know you could do to get to where you want to get to. All the thoughts you probably tell yourself you should do to get to where you want to. What are the thoughts you have? A belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. It's a protection method. And I want to help you think new thoughts so that you can do the thing, so that you can achieve the success, so that you can get those goals. Mine is, I'm not good enough to do this. Right. And how often do you think that? A belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. Because every time you have that thought, you are reinforcing it. Now, I've used the analogy before. The brain is like Google, okay? So Google is, forget ChatGPT for a second. I'm going old school with Google. Google is the world's #1 search engine, and it provides results based on the input you put in, and it tells you what you need to do. That's what our brain does. Our brain has a thought. We have a thought, and our brain reinforces that thought based on repeated thoughts. It simply it searches for results based on input, and we are thinking the same things over and over and over. We can redefine success for ourselves by changing our search times. Search times, terms, teeth in. The thoughts and the beliefs we focus on. Because we tell ourselves, so Michaela, comes up quite a lot at the moment, okay, so it's coming up. And actually, it's coming up because maybe somewhere in the background you've got some examples of where you believe you weren't good enough. So you're searching for examples to reinforce your belief. A belief is a thought we think over and over and over again. And that's what we do in protection. We tell ourselves we're not good enough, so we don't do the thing. Now, this is my favourite. It is I've never seen it anywhere else. I pulled the letters together and I created BEAR. So BEAR, B-E-A-R. I want to remind you, this is how your mindset works. A belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. Everything starts with our thoughts. Can I have a volunteer, please? What's the first thing you think? I know what I need to do. What's the first thing I think? A belief is a thought you think over and over again. So we start with our belief, and a belief creates a feeling. How does it feel when you think I'm not good enough? How does it feel when you think I have too little experience? I'm too young. How does it feel? Because that's what happens. I think it, I feel it. It's not the other way around. You do what you feel safe to do. I think it, I feel it, I act according to how I feel. We have to change the belief to change the action. Everything starts with that thought, because that is coming from your storage vault of every experience, every moment of your life. It creates an emotion. Once upon a time, this happened, that felt awful, I'm not doing that again. Reality, I don't get what I want. Now, I've done that quickly. We could go through this in so many different formats. You do what you feel safe to do. If a thought creates a feeling of not good enough, the thought is I'm not good enough. What's the feeling that comes with that? Probably not a nice feeling, so we don't do the thing because we don't want to show ourselves to be right. But unlocking the courageous mindset is stepping into that feeling, even rubbish is the word I've got. The courageous mindset is stepping in even when that feeling is rubbish. Because why would we step into a rubbish feeling? Because it actually feels rubbish. I don't want to feel like that, so I just won't go there. But stepping into the courageous mindset is doing that thing that makes you not feel safe. Not putting yourself in harm's way, but doing the thing. So the question then becomes, who do I need to be to do things differently, to have different results? It has to start with, who do I need to show myself that I can be? Who do I need to think like? What do I need to tell myself to feel safe to do? You need to be courageous. And that is not what we've been taught. And I just want to talk about the courageous mindset. I'm using this phrase, and I'm not going to put pictures or diagrams up yet. When I use the word courage, I'd love you to tell me in the chat box, what do you think of? Because when I first started this work, back in 2020, I came steaming out of the blocks and everyone thought I was really confident. So I ran loads of workshops and I did Facebook Lives and I talked about confidence, confidence, confidence. And people would come to me and they would say, I need to be more confident, Shelley. I just need to be more confident. If you could just help me be more confident. And then I realised I had it all wrong. Firstly, I wasn't that confident. And everybody thought I was. Everybody thought I was so confident. But it wasn't confidence that was getting me to do the thing. It was courage. So when I say to you, what do you think of when I use the word courage? I would love to know. Because for me, that was a game changer. Realising that actually I was essentially telling people, you need to do this and become more confident. And that's not how it works. Being brave and trusting yourself, yes. A courageous mindset is exactly that. I'm pointing at my second screen. It is being brave. It's trusting yourself. It's the ability to do the thing even when you feel afraid or unsure. It is the true test of growth over comfort. The true test of progress over perfection. Remember, your brain is wired for safety. If I asked you what's the opposite of courage, you'd probably go fear. Fear and safety, not two words that go together. So we avoid fear. We avoid what is not safe. It takes courage to do things differently. But we can't do differently if we don't believe differently. So what we have to have is courageous belief. None of this is about being fearless, believing in yourself. Yes. It's not about being fearless. I've never, ever subscribed to the be fearless. It is about doing in spite of the fear. Remember, BEAR, belief, emotion, action, result. Emotion. Fear is an emotion. It comes from what you're thinking. But what does it mean you don't do? Because you believe it's not safe. The courageous mindset is in fact about experiencing fear, taking it and all that it brings with you. And that is, ironically, scary. It's about recognizing that and still choosing to move forward anyway. Now, courage is not the same as confidence. And this was my light bulb back in 2021, probably. Confidence comes from repeated success. It's what you feel when you've done the thing and it went okay. Because success in that moment isn't about the perfect result. It's doing it and realizing, oh, I can do this and I can do it again. Confidence comes from doing it and not completely failing. Or even confidence comes from doing it, maybe failing, but realizing that failing is okay. Courage is not the same as confidence. And that's the shift I want you to have. Confidence is the result. Confidence is what you get when you get your success. So I'm here to say to you, we need to build a courageous mindset to achieve the success that you dream of in your life, your business, your world. Courage. That's what gets you going. Every goal that you have, everything that you want to achieve, that success that you dream of is going to require moments of courage. A goal is a desire to have or be or do something you don't currently have, aren't currently being, aren't currently doing, which means it probably requires you to do something you haven't done before. Action. Courage is what helps you push through the fear, embrace the uncertainty and give it a go. Courage is what helps you say no, set the boundaries, have the difficult conversation, ask for the pay rise, ask for the sale, speak up with an idea, put that post on socials. I could go on. But the trap most people fall into, and I bet you've said this because I know for damn sure I have, I need to be more confident, and then. Confidence is the result. It's what you feel after you've done the thing. After the risk, after the wobble. Courage is what gets you going. It's courage that helps you say yes. It's courage that helps you speak up. It's courage that helps you get started. And the opposite of courage is this bugger, fear. And I saw this the other day and I thought, I've got to share this. Fear is a shapeshifter, I saw. Every day, your thoughts show up. And every day, fear thoughts show up. Often the same fears in a different form. So Michaela said, my fear I'm not good enough. And that's coming up a lot at the moment. And I bet it comes up almost every day in a different way. Maybe it comes up in the post you don't put out, not sharing the new lead magnet, not having the conversation, the outfit you don't buy because you don't feel good enough to wear it. Fear of the same thing in a different form. Fear is a shapeshifter. That fear of not being good enough will be shifting into various elements of life. Now, maybe you've heard these stats before. It's said we have somewhere between 80 to 100,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those are negative. 80% of those are, I'm not good enough, I can't, I'll never be able to. You know, the worst case scenario is called the negative confirmation bias. 90% of our thoughts are the same thoughts as yesterday. Remember, a belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. So I want to share with you, and I'm going to make this so simple because I hope right now I've got you thinking so much. I'm hoping you're really clear on what success is for you, or you've certainly allowed yourself to think about it. Maybe you've realized some of the things that are coming up for you, the things you keep telling yourself, the belief, the thought that you keep thinking over and over again about why you can't have the success or what's stopping you get there. This is how we shift it. The courageous mindset formula. I make no apologies that I've shared this before, so if you've seen me before, you've heard it before. I will say it again and again and again. Catch it, challenge it, change it, commit and celebrate. I'm going to take you through each step. I'm going to share with you what I mean by that. We've already been doing some of this through this session. It starts with catching those thoughts. I say it all the time, awareness is the first step of change. It's not enough on its own, but you have to notice, what is it you're telling yourself? What is it you are saying is the reason you can't? What is the belief that you have been thinking over and over again that is not serving you? What is the success that you have been telling yourself you're working towards, which actually you don't even want? Catch the thoughts. You cannot change anything if you don't have awareness of it. You have to get honest with yourself, and that takes courage. So it starts with noticing, what is it that you are thinking? What is it that you are telling yourself? What is it that is holding you back? And it's not what's going on out there. It never is. It's what's going on in here. Okay? Mindset, it's yours. It's your mind. If you want to shift what you're doing to get to where you want to go, then you are going to have to shift you and your mindset. Catch those thoughts. Once we've got awareness, and look, we work on one thing at a time. So maybe you've got one right now. If you've realized something you've been telling yourself, challenge those thoughts. What do I mean by challenge? Challenge the truth. Ask yourself, is what I'm telling myself actually true? Is it 100% true 100% of the time, as I always say? Is there a possibility? There's a flaw in my thinking. Go look for the evidence. We use the past as an indicator to predict the future. Go looking for a better past example. Go looking for a better past experience, because it will be there. Use that to predict your future. So when you're telling yourself, I'm just going to use the one that I saw in the chat perfectly, I'm not good enough. Go show yourself an example of when you felt good enough, even if it's not an exact replica. Challenge that thought. How do you know you're not? Where's the evidence to the contrary? You have to show your brain other evidence, because it's all there. It's all there in the storage vault. It's just that we go running to the safety thoughts. This is the courage stepping in, the courage to challenge our own thoughts. Go, hang on a second, maybe what I've been telling myself every day for the last however long isn't actually true. There can be two truths at one time. So if you're thinking, but it is true, that did happen, and I did screw up, or I wasn't good enough, there can be two truths. Maybe in a moment, maybe there was a time, but maybe there's another moment, another time. You only need one to start to question what you're letting drive you forward. Challenge the thought. Because with that challenge, with that new evidence, is where you get to change your thoughts. I will never ask anyone to stand in front of a mirror and repeat affirmations and basically lie to themselves. I will only ever encourage you to use your new truth to change your thought. A belief is a thought you think over and over and over again. Show yourself new thoughts. Show yourself new evidence. And choose in this moment, right now, to take a different path, to carry a different belief, a different truth, because it's there. And if you haven't got your own truth, if you're like, I don't have an example, use someone else's. Because all you need is proof or truth that it can be, that it can happen. Catch, challenge, change. These are the three fundamental first steps to the courageous mindset. And it's ultimately what I've been talking about all the way through the lead up to sharing the courageous mindset formula. This is the cycle we need, because what we're currently doing is not catching, not challenging, and not changing. We're repeating the same thoughts day in, day out. 80,000 thoughts, 80% negative, 90% the same as yesterday. We get to choose if we want to change those numbers. Maybe tomorrow, 89% of the thoughts you think will be the same as today, and 1% will be a new thought. It's your brain, your mind, you choose. But you have to do that with real conviction. You have to decide, this is what I'm working for. This is what I want. This is why I want it. And to get there, I need to let go of the past that has not got me there so far. I need to embrace a new way forward. I need to show myself and my brain what is possible. Because the minute I show myself what's possible, I can think differently, which means I can feel differently, which means I can do differently, which means I can get differently. Now, the real key to this, you can circle around and catch, challenge, change, and you'll get there. You will. But if you really, really want to nail this, what you then need to do is commit. And this is the repeating. Commit to repeating those new thoughts, because if you think it, you feel it, which means you might do it. So the commitment is the repeating of the new thought to feel the new feeling, to do the new thing, whatever that means for the journey that you need to take. But you have to commit. You are in control of your brain. So the minute that thought comes in that isn't helping, catch it, challenge it, change it, and commit to repeating your new thought. Commit to saying, I am good enough. Commit to showing yourself. Commit to, I want to find some others. Commit to saying, I've got plenty of experience. Commit to reminding yourself of the experience you have got. Commit to showing that I may be this age, but these are all the years that I've built up. I've got years in my storage vault. Commit, repeat, because a belief is a thought you think over and over again. The only way to create new beliefs is to think over and over again, and that has to be quite a conscious process in the beginning. And this is what we don't do enough. Celebrate. Every single time you do something new, difficult, challenging, risky, scary, bloody celebrate it. Tell someone you did it. Put it out there. Find your community so you can share with them. Pat yourself on the back. Buy yourself a gift. I mean, go easy. Do whatever you want to do, but celebrate it. We're so busy running at the next thing. We're so busy berating ourselves that we should have done it already. Celebrate every damn step, because that is what builds your confidence. And when your confidence is building, your courage grows with it. And then you're ready to take the next courageous step. Celebrating your success doesn't have to wait to get to the end of the road. It doesn't have to be the full-term, long-term success you're trying to work for. Success, the definition of success is the achievement of the thing. Well, the thing might be that thing right now. Catch, challenge, change, commit, celebrate. That's the courageous mindset formula. I could spend days working this through with you. I could take hundreds of examples and show you how this works. But I am telling you with every ounce of my being, learning and understanding what I'm actually telling myself that's holding me back, catching those thoughts, challenging them, and actually showing myself they're not 100% true 100% of the time. And even if I don't have an example, someone else has, and they're just a normal person. Changing my own thoughts to perhaps I could try. Committing to that repeated thought process. Feels different, I do different, I get a different result. I am living a life I dreamt of. And I've got even more dreams to achieve. I know you have too. If you master these 5 steps, I swear to you, you will achieve not just what you think you want for success now, everything. And I say that from a place of, have I completely mastered it? No, this is ongoing work every single day. I am constantly catching, and anyone that's in my world knows, I catch myself. I catch the limiting belief. I catch the narrative. I catch the thought. I challenge it. Oh, you'll even hear me speak out loud sometimes. And then I will consciously, out loud, tell myself, that's not true, this could be true. And then I commit. I'm going to tell myself that more. I'm going to show myself that. I'm going to do something differently to give myself even more evidence. None of you have come this far to only come this far. You did not come here today to give an hour of your time to go back to exactly where you were. If you did, thanks for being here. But why did you do it? I asked you at the beginning, you get to choose today what you do next. When your mind is in control, the game changes. And actually, what I really mean by that is when you are in control of your mind, the game changes. But you are in control of your mind. You're just not utilizing that power. Choose courage. What do you need to courageously change today to get to where you want to go? You don't have to take a great big leap. You can take one small step, because every small step adds up. But be really clear where you are going to. What is your version of success? Where is your lane taking you to? Not everybody else's. I don't care what everyone else says. I only care about yours. What do you need to courageously change today to get where you want to go? So my summary, of course, is it's the Courageous Mindset formula. Catch it, challenge it, change it, commit to it, and celebrate. Choose courageous action over those fear feelings. Move through the fear, embrace the fear, show yourself what you are capable of. Let go of the outcome. What do I mean by that? We predict the future based on the past. Let go of the outcome means you don't know what's going to happen. The prediction you are making is based on everything that you've ever known, not what you're about to make happen. Let go of the outcome. Surround yourself with like-minded women being courageous, like-minded people. Surround yourself with people that get it so that you can tell them about all the great things you do. What do you need to courageously change today to get to the place that you want to go? Be thankful for everything in that past journey that has shaped you so far. But take control of the shaping from here on in. Now, of course, I am going to say, if you want to be, so I'm not going to do a big pitch and sell. If you want to be surrounded by a group of women doing amazing things, guess what? Some of them are here with me today. And if you'd like to find out more about me, come give us a follow. She is Courageous Collective, has its own Instagram page. This QR code takes you to my website. Give me a follow. Send me a message. Choose to step away from today and be different to do different. I said at the beginning, this is not about doing more. It's not about knowing more. It's about being. Who will you be in order to do different? And if you are looking for an incredible community of women who are embracing fear and stepping into who they need to be, then I would highly recommend checking out the She is Courageous Collective. It's not just another membership. It's not a business membership. I didn't create it because the world needed another membership. I created it because I was tired of watching brilliant women hold themselves back. So I know that there is a gap for that. I know this is what we need. It's not a course, it's not a mastermind, it's not a membership. It is simply an incredible space with incredible women who are done with not getting to where they want to get to and are doing something about it. I simply want to say thank you for joining me today. Be courageous, do different, go make your success happen for you. Thank you. It's been an absolute privilege to be part of your journey. Thank you for joining me today. Be courageous, make your success happen, and come give me a shout if I can help in any way whatsoever. Thank you so much for being with me today. Please do come and give me a follow on the socials. Please do reach out if you've got any questions. I'd love to hear your takeaways. I'd love to hear your light bulbs. Give me a tag, drop me a message if you've got something that's really resonated for you today. With that, I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.